But it's just like they talk about my eyes or they like my nose. Because in the U.S., people don't go, "Oh, I love your eyes." They'd just be like, "You look pretty," like generalized. Whereas here, it's very specific to what you look good at, and I'm just like,
Oh.
Japan is great in a lot of facets. However, I needed to set up a Japanese bank account. They were asking me for a honko, and I was like, I don't have a honko. Like, certain things are like, there will be little hurdles for foreigners, or like,
because I'm canceling everything, like my gas and everything, but you have to actually call them.
Mhm.
I could do this online in the U.S.
the paperwork.
Everything is, you have to write it down, and it has to be in Japanese. Not that I hate it, but it's just like there's no accessibility in certain situations.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm African American, and I go to Shibuya, downtown Shibuya, and like, why am I getting stopped when I see a bunch of Europeans going out and they don't get stopped ever? And I'm like, that's very a weird trend going on.
Do you guys date with somebody? Like, are you seeing someone right now?
I'm not.
If you don't mind,
I'm
you know.
free. I'm about to leave Japan, so
Oh, so
I'm not trying to date.
I want to ask you about what is like dating in Japan with, doesn't have to be like Japanese, it could be American, like dating here in Japan.
I think in Japanese culture, there's like they don't want to really date foreigners. They want to date foreigners, but not like get married eventually. So it's not very serious when you date. Yeah, so it kind of just puts you off wanting to date here because it's like they don't want to stay with you long term and they're just trying to have some fun. So it's just like,
Really? I thought the opposite actually. I thought like,
that
oh,
does-
I want like a light skinned baby, and yeah, I want a light skinned baby who has like curly hair. I want this kind of baby, so I'm gonna go after you only. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, they
It's
focus.
not gonna be
Japanese people focus on different things here because I get told my eyes look pretty,
Mhm.
or I get my hair touched a lot,
Mm.
and I'm just like,
Mm.
I'm sure you guys have that issue too.
Yeah.
But it's just like they talk about my eyes or they like my nose because I'm just like,
Okay.
okay.
We thought it's like compliment. So you're gonna be happy about it.
I mean, it's nice, but it's just like because in the U.S. people don't go, "Oh, I love your eyes." They'd just be like, "You look pretty," like generalized. Whereas here, it's very specific to what you look good at, and I'm just like,
Oh,
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the most like different thing from US, man. Okay.
You think it's like a homogeneous like society? That's why. That's what I like when your eyes are colored. That's why I like it more.
Yeah.
because
Okay.
we don't have similar facial structures
Yeah,
or
Mhm.
body
very
structures.
different. Yeah, America we're like, oh,
Yeah.
everybody's American.
I love all three of us because we look all different.
Mm.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, ありがとうございます. That was interesting. Next question. So, since you've been here for pretty like long time, like 1 year, 2 years, I guess you found something like, I think this is not really good. It would be great if Japan has this, like Japan change this thing stuff. If you have anything like that, I want to ask you.
Yeah.
So you're asking if there's anything we found that we're just like, I
Like
wish
kinda-
they would change this.
Yeah, kind of weird or like.
Japan is great in a lot of facets. However,
However.
I think we were talking about this earlier, how like Japan has been like a closed off society for so much of its history. You know, a lot of foreigners are starting to move to Japan and build a life here for
Yeah.
themselves. But there'll be like little things that are very hard for
Okay, what's that?
foreigners to like I was talking about how like I needed to set up a Japanese bank account. And they were asking me for a honko, and I was like, I don't have a honko. Like, why would I have that? So like,
Hanko.
yeah, the stamp.
signature.
So like, certain things are like, there will be little hurdles for foreigners, or like your visa isn't long enough, so like you can't get a credit card, you can't do this, you can't do this. So like, I wish, my hope is that you know, Japanese government or whoever's in charge of this makes it easier for people to want to come here and build a life here, because as the world is becoming more globalized, you know, and I want for the people coming after me coming to Japan to have an easier time. So I hope that like doing like little stuff like that, little legal stuff,
I didn't
would
know
become
that.
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I just thought of something.
Okay.
So I actually had a conversation with my mom the other day. I was complaining because I'm canceling everything, like my gas and everything, but you have to actually call them. And it's just, it's so irritating because I'm like, I could do this online in the US.
The paperwork.
Everything is, you have to write it down, and it has to be in Japanese. And sometimes you don't know Japanese. I mean, I'm pretty good now, but in the beginning I was like, can I write in English? Can I do this in English? And just everything is in Japanese. Not that I hate it, but it's just like there's no accessibility in certain situations. I'm lucky because all of my gas, electric, and water they had a translator or somebody they could call. But my friend Marie literally had to get her Japanese friend to cancel all of her stuff for her, including her Wi-Fi, because it was all in Japanese, and they're like, we don't do English. No ego.
True. No,
So I was,
like a lot of Japanese people speak English here, so
like you have to, and it's hard because sometimes you can't make Japanese friends because they're very closed off. So it's like you can't even make friends to become like have them help you in the future. So it's just like hard.
maybe we have to adapt more kind of English stuff. Okay, ありがとうございます。Okay, the last question. Did you have any like bad experience here? Let's say, if you don't mind to be asked, like, did you have any like discriminating experience?
Having like white Europeans like pass by like I said like the officers, but then me who I lived here for 2 years and someone like they stop me, but they see like, oh, you're a foreigner but you're kind of darker, so we're gonna stop you instead. I think that's a little aggravating, but it's still like you notice that like I think that's like a big concept that like most countries should stop doing. Compared to America, it's like it's like you stop you, your ID, you're done, cool. There's no fear behind it, like a check. Oh, okay, well I'm African American and I go to Shibuya, downtown Shibuya, and like why am I getting stopped when I see a bunch of Europeans going out and they don't get stopped ever? And I'm like, that's a weird trend going on. But that's really it though. Like other than that, they've been pretty good. Other than like I don't get like any discrimination against like anyone else, like any other civilian walking around. No one's ever gave me the quote unquote gaijin seat with a space between you and like everybody else. I never get that.
Like in train.
Yeah, I never get that. Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. I wish I had it. I'm like, step out. It's kind of hot today. Can you step back a little bit? Yeah, it's a little hot today. Can you step back a little bit?
I have never been stopped by police, and hopefully that never happens. But I think the first thing I noticed when I moved to Japan is the staring that I get. And like in America, if you stare at people, that's like really rude. It can be very off-putting. Like, what the heck are you staring at? Like, what am I doing? But I recognize I'm obviously not a Japanese person. My hair is different. This color of my skin is different. So, I assume most of it is curiosity. Like, what are they doing here? Like, why did they move to Japan? Or why are they visiting? So, but it also makes me uncomfortable sometimes because I already know that I stand out. So when people like notice my presence a lot, it can be very overwhelming. It's like sometimes I want to go through life kind of unseen at times. But discrimination or any, not too much. Yeah, of course I get questions about like where I'm from, like what am I doing here. So far my experience has been pretty pleasant.
I think overall it's really
you guys
pleasant.
don't have like very crazy like
Nothing
I got
traumatizing.
It's pretty relaxing.
I mean, if you pay attention, that's only because you guys look different and you guys look so cool. That's something I want you to
my-
especially like
it's more like a positive
true.
outlook. Who look
Like,
at you, you're like, oh, they don't know. Like they're very curious. It's not a hateful eye. It's a more curious eye.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not like hating.
Sometimes you get the old ladies who are just like,
Ah.
but that's more funny because I like to stare at them back and be like, what's up?
Oh, you do that.
It makes them very uncomfortable and they'll be like, But it's really funny because it's like, you want to stare at me? I'll stare at you back.
Then they're
It's not illegal.
It's not illegal. Exactly. Speak some
日本好き
Japanese?
日本好き。
日本好きって言って
日本大好き
ありがとうございます。はい、ありがとうございます。バイバ
バイバ
イ。